Yeah.
Hey yo, man, it's your time. Man, fuck poverty. Get this money, man. Fuck you gotta do, you know what I'm saying?
I can tell you're mad at me just by how you.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Phil and Leroy, the Judgmental Podcast. I'm Leroy. No Philip this week, but we got his replacement. Yeah, cousin Jay. So what's going on, Jay?
A lot, kind of. I mean, I left the school that I was talking about before. I work at another school now.
Now, why did you leave the first school?
It's a bunch of reasons, but that school just the administration were too busy trying to cover their ass all the time.
Mm-hmm. Well, here's a quick question. Did you see the first episode of Abbott Elementary?
Yep.
Now, how far is that from the truth?
It's very accurate. Like kind of like how where I was working, like the administration would buy crap. I mean, that's it's a little bit exaggerated, but they would spend stuff on stuff that you really don't need.
Mm-hmm.
And the teachers would need like all sorts of resources. I mean, at the place where I work at now, I'm not the only person who quit, man. Like a lot of them are quitting. A lot of teachers are leaving that school.
Mm-hmm. So here's another question.
Mm-hmm.
Did you keep in touch with our brother who stays up all night and watch TV?
Oh, nah, man. Like he's a kid, man. Like you know what I'm saying? Like I left. I can't. How am I gonna keep in touch with them?
You was his favorite teacher, and you just
No, I
want to leave
wasn't.
him hanging
I wasn't his
dry.
favorite teacher. Don't even go there.
How do you know?
Because I know I wasn't his favorite teacher.
Yeah, used to talk about TV shows and the shows he watched and
He
all
didn't
this.
talk about no TV shows. All I asked him, he kept saying, "Yo, Mr. Smith, I'm tired." I was like, "Why are you tired?" Then he would go on this whole like tangent on why he's so tired.
So, so is this school you at now? Is this also in Newark, right?
Now this one is outside of Newark.
Oh.
This one is in West Orange.
Okay. So is it still predominantly black or mixed or?
That school that I went to before, that was Latino. That was mainly Dominicans and stuff in Puerto Rico.
Okay, I thought it was primarily black.
No, it was because the principal and vice principal. The principal was Dominican. The vice principal was Puerto Rican, and a lot of the kids were like Dominican and Puerto Rican and Colombian. Just Latin American.
Okay.
So this school is pretty much mixed, and like the class that I have that I'm teaching, it's a good mixture of Haitians and Latinos in there.
Oh, okay. I thought this. So our brother that stays up and watch TV all night, he's Latino.
Yeah, he Dominican.
Oh, okay. I thought it was a black kid for some reason.
Nah. Well, I mean, they black enough, man. Come on, they're right next to Haiti, so.
Okay. The only difference is they can swim, huh?
I don't know. I guess, but they on the same island, man. They need to cut that out.
Yeah, well, you know how that is.
Yeah. Wait, how was your Thanksgiving?
Oh, it was good. I ain't really do anything. I just sat here and pretty much watched football. How was yours?
It was cool. Your nephew should be a stand-up comic. Like, all he needs to do, just put a microphone in front of him and just let him talk, and like he could be a stand-up comic.
Mm-hmm.
He's a character. Matter of fact, you know how our family is. Everybody's a character. It's like if I ever wrote for a TV show, I would use all of them as characters.
So did he cook for you?
No, nah, man. He didn't cook nothing, man. He came in. Your sister, because we went over your sister's house. Your sister cooked a few things. My wife cooked some like Korean meat.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, he came over that house smiling, like he won $1 million. He was like, "I ain't gotta cook." When you work in the kitchen all the time, you don't want to cook or anything. So,
right. Well, all right, let's get to it. Houston, Texas. Kendrick Lee, the young 8-year-old boy whose body was found inside an apartment building, a apartment inside a West Harris County apartment, a year after he was killed, was laid to rest on Friday. Well, we'll play the first clip we'll play is the news incident of it, and the second clip we'll play is the actual funeral. The funeral was Friday. So here's the first clip.
Really just heartbreaking, Tom. Now, Sheriff Ed Gonzalez was here, and he has been to many, many crime scenes throughout the years. He says he's never seen anything quite like this. It all happened at this apartment complex right here. And the question really tonight is, where were these parents, and how could they ever have let their children live like this? Authorities showed up to this apartment complex for a welfare check, not knowing the horrifying scene they were about to walk into.
Been in this business for a long time, and I had never heard a scenario like this.
3 kids, 15, 10, and 7 years old, found on the third-floor apartment, abandoned and in deplorable conditions. The skeletal remains of another kid also discovered. Harris County Sheriff Ed Gonzalez believes they're all siblings.
It appears that they were basically fending for each other, which is very sad.
The sheriff says the body has been slowly deteriorating for an extended period of time. As neighbors watch the investigation unfolds, many left with questions about where the parents could have possibly been.
That's really concerning because I'm a mom and I can never imagine leaving them abandoned anywhere. And it's kind of heartbreaking and it's sad.
Neighbors say the apartment complex, City Park 2 at West Oaks, has been doing inspections the past month. One resident shared this email with a reminder for her apartment. We were kicked off the property by management who wouldn't answer our questions about the last time that apartment was inspected.
Very disturbing sets of circumstances, so we definitely want some answers for these children.
The 3 kids now in the care of the sheriff's office. I'm Brooke Taylor, ABC 13 Eyewitness News.
This is some mass fuckery all around, too, by the way. It's the do you know about the story already?
Yeah.
Okay, so mama's boyfriend strikes again.
Mhm.
Now you have the people at the apartment complex. Now, as you see there were like families with little kids and all that stuff. Now, no one noticed, like, well, damn, I ain't seen these kids' mother in blankety blank months or whatever. No one said anything about that. That's number one. Number two is the apartment complex. Now you have a dead body in a house. The smell has got to be deafening, and a dead mouse can stink up a whole room, and that's a little mouse. So you can imagine how much a dead body smells. And no one said anything. I would love to know how does these apartments look on the inside. And number 3, the school, was these kids going to school? Because they sure weren't getting up and going to school and everything like that. They couldn't have been.
Yeah.
And
it said, yes, 3 of them. They weren't going to school. I mean, come on, it makes sense. How could they be going to school?
Right. And what happened to the bills? Now, was mama still paying the bills? And is this a subsidized apartment? Because was she still paying rent and wasn't living there?
Because I mean, it's a lot of stuff that's like left out. At least the article you sent me.
Right.
You know, as far as like, yeah, how long were they in there? How long was this?
A year.
It was a full year.
Yep.
Okay, I don't know how I missed that one.
Well, here's the second clip. They're talking about the kid's funeral, which was on Friday.
Been heartbreaking
really
for anyone
has.
and everyone who's heard about it. I'm Melanie Lawson. Prosecutors say Kendrick Lee was beaten to death, then abandoned with his brothers, his body abandoned in a West Harris County apartment. They literally lived with that body for a year. Our Charlie Etzedy is at today's funeral service and joins us now live. And Charlie, one last chance for people to be able to say goodbye to this little boy who just simply had no chance.
Yeah, Mel, you know, just covering this story, the details are incredibly horrific. And today, friends and family showing up here to honor the life of 8-year-old Kendrick Lee and giving him the proper farewell that he deserves. And so,
washing clothes and washing. Okay, there was a 15-year-old. The oldest was 15, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he
Now,
was.
was he washing clothes? And do they have a laundromat on the premises? Is it a washer and dryer inside the apartment complexes, or what? But these kids was just walking around like no one actually paid attention to them. I'm talking about even if the parents in the apartment complex.
we're up here on the northeast side. I'm going to step out of the way so you can see what the church looks like. And services are actually going to get started here. They begin at 11 o'clock this morning. And we've seen family and friends arriving here this morning, going inside. And we actually think we spotted 2 Houston police detectives, possibly who worked on this case. I mean, this case has impacted so many people who have worked on it or even heard about it. And so around 10 o'clock this morning, we actually saw Kendrick's casket being taken inside of the building. And understandably so, this family is asking for privacy today because it is going to be a terribly painful day for them. And it's been more than a year since investigators on this case say that 8-year-old Kendrick was murdered allegedly by his.
And the last thing they need is privacy, because you had all types of privacy, and look what happened.
Mother's boyfriend being beaten to death and his corpse then left to rot inside of their apartment. Just incredibly horrific. Now, some of the boys' siblings were also abandoned in that apartment after the mother and her boyfriend moved out. Again, this is all information according to investigators. Now, one of the children finally called the police back in October, just short of a year after when it's believed Kendrick was killed. Now, both the child's mom, Gloria Williams, and her boyfriend, Brian Coulter, have been charged in this case. They are currently in custody, and Kendrick's siblings have since been placed in foster care. And according to CPS, they are getting all of these support services that they need. But definitely just a very somber and heavy feeling out here outside of the church. But obviously a day of mourning, but also to celebrate this little boy's life and give him the honor that he deserves. And so, guys, just a very heavy day out here up on the north side. I'm going to toss it back inside to you. Charlie Ed City, ABC 13 Eyewitness News.
And Charlie, such an important reminder that indeed this is a celebration, however brief his life was. People remembering this little boy today.
But what a tragic way just this entire story, as we've been following it, just awful. So awfully tragic.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Charlie. We appreciate you.
Yeah, that was a sad story there. It's like
Made no sense.
Yeah, no one at all paid the attention.
That's what I'm saying. Like basically what you said. If you see a 15-year-old like walking around, second of all, somebody had to contact the parent like sometime. Like, hey, this is so many things missing. That one is crazy.
Right. And mamas, please watch who you have around your kids. You don't have to have penis that bad. You don't have to have penis that bad to have this man treat your kids like shit. This man killed your damn kid and you still with him.
Well, that shows she didn't care.
Mama's boyfriend strikes again. So now we go on to New Jersey. By the way, everyone, these stories are kind of old because, as you noticed, we do Eagles podcast during the week. So some of these stories, I know these stories are kind of a month or so old because we haven't done this in a while. So we got at New Jersey. New details have been released about a New Jersey mother, Jamie Moore, charged with abuse after she reported her 14-year-old daughter missing. Here's the report.
The mother of a 14-year-old who was missing for almost a month has been arrested.
She did not run away. She did not run away.
Oh, she sure did.
Yeah,
and my mom said that she knew something was up when she saw this. I hate she said, ain't nowhere in the world no mother have a missing daughter that will put some big dumbass eyelashes and contacts in her eyes. I don't know if they're contacts or not, but them sure big dumb eyelashes. I don't know, is that supposed to be attracted to somebody? I don't know what the hell some of these women be thinking sometimes. You look like a damn clown with these big dumbass eyelashes on there.
Caterpillars on her eyes.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, look at me. It's like, everybody look at me.
Mm-hmm.
She was abducted. That's right.
Jamie Moore rallied community help to find her daughter, Josiah. But now she's facing allegations of child abuse. Josiah went missing from East Orange, New Jersey on October 14th and was found safe in Manhattan, New York almost a month later.
It appears that Josiah was a runaway.
Rather than returning the 14-year-old home, both Josiah and her 3-year-old brother have been removed from her mother's custody, according to authorities. Pix 11 reports the teen told law enforcement her mother allegedly sprayed her with bleach and stabbed her in the shoulder, leaving a visible laceration. Josiah was also not being sent to school, prosecutors say.
With regard to school, it also does not appear that it was registered in a school at present or at the time that she left home.
Essex County Prosecutor's Office announced Jamie Moore was charged with 2 counts of second-degree endangering the welfare of a child. The endangering charges include allegations of physical abuse and also neglect. Jamie Moore has not entered a plea to these charges and is in custody pending a court appearance. Before Josiah was found, the reward for information on her location had risen to $20,000.
And she also had to watch her 3-year-old brother. The kid was 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she had to watch her 3-year-old brother. So 3 years ago, you had your legs cocked in the air and had some guy have unprotected sex with you, but yet you don't have nobody to watch your kid.
Priorities.
Yeah, her priorities was in them eyelashes first before before those kids.
She had to look good for the cameras. East Orange, that's where this was. I remember when this was on TV.
Mm-hmm.
And like even back then, I was basically like your mom. I was like, nah, this is too fishy. This don't make sense.
So authorities say Moore stabbed the teen with a steak knife, sprayed her face with bleach, pulled out her braids, and hit her in the head with a frying pan. Damn. She also allegedly hit her daughter with hangers and a broom handle and put her on her knees so she couldn't breathe. No wonder why she ran away.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and then they also didn't mention in the report that she had to panhandle out on the street, and if she didn't have enough money, her mom would have beat her. So her mom was like a damn pimp.
Basically.
Right. Come back with some money. Why no? Again, 3 years ago, you had 3 short years ago, you had your legs cocked in the air and let some guy have unprotected sex with you and had a kid. But I guess you so broke that you have to have your 14-year-old daughter out here panhandling when her ass should have been in school.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, priorities.
Priorities. Yo, this is a somber way to start the show, man.
oh, it's gonna pick up. You see, I always start low, and then it's like a song. It's like a slow song. You know, you start low, and then you bring up, and then. Well, here's a good story for you. We got the brothers. A group of dads in 2 states volunteered to stop violence in school. All right, the first report I'm going to play is from Louisiana. The second report I'm going to play is from Philadelphia. Here's the report.
When the SOS went up at a troubled school, who answered the call? A bunch of DADs. Here's CBS's Steve Hartman on the road.
Not many good news stories begin in such a bad news way. It happened last month here at Southwood High School in Shreveport, Louisiana.
Plagued with violence.
Over the course of 3 days,
Another fight.
23 students arrested for fighting.
Massive police response.
But strangely, there hasn't been another incident since. Perhaps in part because of this most unusual crisis intervention team.
Nobody here has a degree in school counseling. No majors in criminal justice.
No.
Your qualifications are?
With that, we decided the best people who can take care of our kids are who? Or us. What we do.
So Michael Lafitte started Dads on Duty.
We're out doing what we do for our babies.
A group of about 40 Southwood dads who now hang out at the school in shifts.
Let's go.
Today, any negative energy that enters the building has to run a gauntlet of good parenting.
What's going on, buddy? You moving fast. I like that horse.
I immediately felt a form of safety. We stopped fighting. People started going to class.
How could that be?
You ever heard of a look?
A look? Daddy, do that?
Yes. Not many people know it, but yes.
Let's go, let's go.
But it's not just the firm stares and stern warnings.
Let's make it to class, my son.
It's also the dad jokes.
They just make funny jokes like, oh, hey, your suit's untied, but it's really not untied.
They hate it. They're so embarrassed by it.
And it's that perfect mix of tough love and gentle ribbing that dads do so well that has helped transform this school.
The school has really just been like happy, and you can feel it.
Which is why the dads plan to keep coming to Southwood indefinitely.
Because not everybody has the father figure at home.
Or a male, period, in their life.
So just to be here makes a big difference.
Do you think you stumbled onto something here?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Have a good morning.
They'd like to start chapters of Dads on Duty throughout Louisiana.
What's up, baby boy?
And hope to eventually take on the country.
All right.
Without a fight. Steve Hartman, on the road in Shreveport, Louisiana.
All right, now this is the one from Philadelphia. This is not the same group. What was it, Dads on Duty?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is not the same. This is not affiliated with the same group. These are just different fathers pretty much doing the same thing. Here's the report. This is from Philadelphia again.
They are fathers on
The first one, Louisiana, that made national news, but I don't think anyone knows about the Philadelphia one.
the front line, and they have teamed up with other neighborhood volunteers to turn a tragic shooting last month into a very personal mission, ensuring other kids heading to and from school stay safe as the city's gun violence epidemic surges.
Hey fellas, how y'all doing? So we come to school, well here we come about 2:45, about 15, 20 minutes before they start dismissing. How about keeping y'all safe? We all each take a post. Basically, we just be a visible presence, a visible deterrence to any negative behavior or violence.
Every day, this group of volunteers, known as Frontline Dads, comes to Rhodes Middle School to provide safe passage to students after the last bell. Last month, a student was shot to death on his way to class. Police say he was an innocent bystander.
Was that your friend? Yes. I mean, it's a K-8 school. So when a 13-year-old gets murdered on his way to a K-8 school, that's a problem.
Days later, Frontline Dads called on parents and community members to volunteer not just at Rhodes, but other schools and hotspots for crime. Right now, they do this at 6 other schools in the city.
I believe that the community has a role to play in trying to maintain some safety in all this chaos going on with the gun violence. And so I think this is a good example of community involvement.
What about you? What you gonna do?
Police officer.
My man, you're gonna be a crime stopper.
Engaging with students while being an extra set of eyes and ears.
We can make sure that the kids cross the street safely. We can make sure that they exit the building safely and they go home.
Now, the group is also looking for more volunteers. They do a lot of at-risk programming for youth, and last month took a group of kids to a Meek Mill concert. Earlier this year,
All right, that's the only negative I got there.
Yeah, the Meek Mill concert. Like, I don't think kids need to be going to a Meek Mill concert like that.
Yes, and he's talking about using the N-word and bitches and
yeah, we're good on that.
Fucking no. You want to go see Meek Mills, you're gonna see that on your own time and your own dime.
Mm-hmm.
Anti-violence.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, and bless that kid who said he wanted to grow up to be a police officer.
Right. Oh, the hood laughed at him when they saw that report. So
program $20,000 via the Social Justice Fund. But what a real example of people stepping up to make their communities not only better, but also safer.
These dads making all the difference.
Yep.
Okay. Christy, thank you.
Good report. And it also goes to show that bullshit myth about how black men don't care about their kids or just kids in general.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. I'm sick and tired of hearing that, man.
Oh yeah, it's bullshit.
Sick and tired.
Yeah, that's complete bullshit.
Well, there was a study I read a long time ago. I forget. I wish I could reference it, but it said something like black men who, they have kids and they're happily married and stuff. Not just happily married, but they're just married and they stay in that relationship. They're like some of the best fathers.
Right.
they stick around the longest compared to other groups of people. Like they're more involved. What I'm trying to say is they're more involved in their child's life.
Right.
Because there's plenty of, this is one thing too. Like living abroad, man, it's amazing how other cultures aren't shitted on. It's just because nobody knows about it.
Now,
There are
what they do.
I'm gonna say plenty of other cultures, like they'll have the dad will have the kids, but then they'll push the responsibility onto the woman. So that they don't want to do nothing with the kid until the kid is old enough. Then they can kind of like, rear the kid into being an adult or whatever.
Right.
But it's too late because the kid already, didn't spend that much time with their father. So, it's amazing that ain't. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's amazing. We know why it's not.
Right.
But it's crazy. It's just crazy.
And it's so much so now. Black women tout the same thing, that men don't care about their kids, because I was having a conversation with Maisha and everything, and Maisha is the type that she would instead of going away with the pack, she'll agree right along with them, because she pulls that bullshit. And I said, well, Maisha, look at all the men in your family. Look at all your cousins and your uncles and all that stuff. How many men that out of all the cousins and uncles and all that stuff you have, how many of these men that had children and said, fuck them kids, I ain't taking care of them?
You ain't gotta call her. You ain't gotta call her out like that.
Well, that's the conversation. She'll never listen. So I can say it.
But yeah, you're right though. You're right. It's too much of that narrative to where I call it the niggas ain't shit syndrome.
Right.
Because that's been the mantra for the longest. Right. I'll get somebody else. I don't need y'all. Y'all don't take care of nothing. You know what I'm saying? We get dogged out a lot. And like, I mean, I hate to make this a black woman versus black man thing, but it's like for black men, we don't have anybody to like help us out with that. Black women, if they want to go the feminist route, I mean, even though they get screwed over in the end,
yeah,
as long as they're supporting that feminist way of thinking, they're fine. But as far as black men are concerned, when we're trying to do right and then we're still dogged out, we don't have any resources.
Yep. And when Maisha be telling me how her friends is on that fuck these men and all that shit, and I said, well, Maisha, when they say all that stuff, you just sit there and don't say anything, because you could be like, well, look, my brothers and my cousins, they don't do that. They take care of their children. Yeah, well, shouts out to the fathers to there. Frontline dads, don't take these kids to a damn Meek Mill concert.
They're doing everything right except for that.
Right. Meek Mill's jumping up on stage, talking about where my bitches at, and got these damn 13-year-olds sitting in the audience.
Yeah,
no.
We don't
right. You want to see Meek Mill's on your own time and your own dime. I'm not supporting that. Now, if Big Daddy Kane was performing, y'all can go. These kids gonna say, "Who the fuck is this?"
Yeah, exactly.
So now we gotta go to Colleyville, Texas. We talked about Colleyville Heritage Principal, Mr. James Whitfield, Colleyville, Texas, in our episode number 68. The title was High School Student Passed 3 Classes in 4 years.
Oh, yeah.
Principal Whitfield was ordered to remove a photo of him kissing his white wife in social media. Now he's been removed, quote, fired, unquote, for accused of promoting and teaching critical race theory. Here's the report.
Principal will resign following months of controversy that generated national attention.
And the school district did not like that negative attention. It will keep.
Oh, even the anchorman know this shit is stupid, because you see how he tried to laugh through the whole.
Paying him for several months longer. Dan is live at the Grapevine Colleyville ISD Administration Building with the story.
Tim, the Grapevine Colleyville School District has agreed to keep Dr. James Whitfield on paid leave.
Oh, he's a doctor. It didn't say doctor in the report, so sorry about that.
Yeah, if you're a principal, more than likely you went through school to get your doctorate or PhD, probably your doctorate. So
Okay, well, sorry about that, Dr. Whitfield.
Until August of 2023. That's when his current contract runs out. The announcement of his resignation.
Oh, they want him out of there so bad.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's the question for you. Now, would you sit for those till what's that, August 2023? Would you sit for that long? Or I want to know, how does it work? Can he find a job and still get paid as being a principal, or would everything stop if he find a job?
Well, he resigned, right? So
well, he was quote unquote fired. They wanted to get rid of him, but they said, and to keep everything cool, they just still kept him on contract until 2023. Yeah, when you hear about that resign and all that stuff, they fired him. They don't want you around.
Nah, but like, still, like, I resigned from my job. So, but anyway, what was the question? Would you sit? Would I sit?
Yeah, would you sit
for the remainder of the year?
Yeah.
Yeah, it depends on how it works.
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
I wouldn't want to. I mean, because I don't know what it's like as a principal. If they have you just staying there the whole time, I guess you're supposed to stay there by contract, because it depends on what kind of contract he has at that school too.
Right.
But if he was able to leave, why not?
Yeah, because that's good, because you can be stay at home with your kids and help the kids with school and all that stuff. But see, what I want to know is if the contract, is the agreement voided if he get say like if he found another job, another principal job?
Nah, probably not. I'm just going based off of, because again, he's a principal. I don't know what it's like as a principal, but as a teacher, you got to stay there, because if you don't stay there, then they could, revoke your license or whatever certification you have in order to be a principal. Like for me, when I quit, I quit, I put in my resignation, and I had to stay at that school for 30 days after I put in my resignation. So like, I couldn't just hop up and leave. If you move to another district, they have to wait until you're done with, or another school, they have to wait until your whole thing is finished. Right. So it's probably the same thing with him.
Now, did you tell your students you was leaving?
Yeah, I told them I was leaving. That's messed up, man. That's messed up for me to be like, yo, yeah, I'll see y'all next week, and then I never show up. Nah. Some of them kids like me. I do miss some of them, but they be 100% real. I just told them, like, look, I'll be out next week. You guys have a new, not a new. Well, they had another teacher in there, and she just kind of replaced the old one. So I was like, okay, she'll be here and I won't. And that was basically it. Yeah, I ain't gonna do them like that. That's messed up.
Well, here's the report.
And the payment agreement made public at a special meeting last night. Dr. Whitfield was principal at Colleyville Heritage High School. The district put him on leave months ago, citing issues like insubordination.
Oh, well, shit, he ain't been there for months.
They did not want him there.
Communication and other factors. Whitfield alleged it was backlash over accusations he was promoting critical race theory. Trustees said that was not the case. At last night's meeting, most but not all of the speakers defended Dr. Whitfield, one parent accusing the board of bowing to the wrong kind of pressure.
This district is under attack by special interests who don't give a rat's patootie for any of the things that make GCISD a destination.
She should have just said ass, because Catootie sounds ridiculous.
Well, she's an old white woman.
District.
You have now set a precedent that anyone can attend one of these school board meetings, call for the firing of any employee based on false accusations, and have their wish granted.
The question should be asked, how did we get here? Critical race theory, equity.
Boy, I would sure love to be there.
I was wondering if that was like, if that was them laughing, or if it was something else that cut in there. What was that?
Speaker last night, former school board candidate Stetson Clark. Now, it was Clark who first called for Whitfield's firing this past summer, citing a letter that Whitfield had written to parents about racial issues in the wake of George Floyd's murder last year. Many Heritage High School students staged walkouts earlier this year in support of Whitfield. The embattled principal did not attend last night's meeting. The district said the agreement to part ways with Dr. Whitfield was intended in part to avoid a prolonged disruption for students. It also likely prevents a drawn-out legal battle. Reporting live at district headquarters, Dan Godwin.
Yeah, they wanted him going so bad, and they didn't want him to try to sue and all that shit. But now, do you think that it was really about that critical race theory, or about him being affectionate to his white wife?
Well, you got to consider where he's living.
Right. That's why I asked you.
And this is pretty obvious.
Yeah, that I think it's more because you see, they didn't even mention about the Facebook stuff and this report. They only mentioned about the critical race theory. Well, the other report mentioned the him being affectionate with his wife and about the critical race theory. I think it has a lot to do with somebody was upset with him because he had those pictures of him being affectionate to his wife. Who
Yeah,
had
like I was saying, that's obvious. They were gunning for dude ever since they saw that.
Yep.
Once they saw that, they were like, "Oh hell no, this dude's got to go."
Exactly.
Can't have him here. You know how that goes.
Exactly. I don't see what the big damn deal is, because like, how can you not see an interracial relationship? See, it's more about the type of woman he have.
I think it's that, but also like just parading it around though. If it's on Facebook, people are going to get upset, especially, I mean, again, I don't know what it's like there, but it looks like, they don't like a particular kind of people there.
Oh, what kind
so,
what's
you know
the
what I'm
kind
talking
of,
about. You know what I'm talking about, especially a dude who's principal.
Oh,
he's
yeah.
He's head in charge. He's doing nice. He's got a white wife. Come on, man.
Now, here's the question. That's a 6-figure job, right?
More than likely, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he makes a great living. He's a principal, and we can tell from that board meeting what's going on there in terms of who's there and who's not, if you get my drift.
Exactly.
So
that's how it always is, though. Like, come on, like in any situation where there's how can I put this? There's an organization with a group of people. It's always going to look like that.
Right. And they saw those Facebook pictures that said, "Oh no, he's got to go."
Yeah, they had it out for dude. Everybody knows that.
Yeah. Well, on your side, I both agree with you, because I wouldn't be posting any type of pictures like that on Facebook. But his next job, he has to play it cool. Now, I'm not trying to say it's a bad thing just because your wife is white or anything like that, but you have to play it cool and not having all that personal shit on your Facebook page.
Yeah, and move to a more liberal area if you can, as far as like working.
Right. Well, all right, we go on to our Street Entrepreneur series. Street entrepreneurs, get your money, fuck the haters, do your thing. Do your thing series. Everybody that talk bad about you, you get arrested or something like that, they ain't nothing but a bunch of haters. So we go on to Memphis, Tennessee, of course. A former Memphis property manager has been charged with stealing thousands of dollars that should have gone to rent from his own tenants. He's not just a property manager, he's a pastor. Here's the report.
A former Memphis property manager is charged with stealing from his own tenants, and it's not just a property manager, he's a pastor. Thank you for joining us. I'm Alex Coleman.
And I'm April Thompson.
I like how you did that and how they did that.
Yep.
They put the pastor part right at the end to just get you that punch. Like, oh shit.
Thousands of dollars in money orders that should have gone to rent.
WRAG's Janae Lewis is live from the Washington.
And I'm sorry, I don't really. Well, you'll read. I'm going ahead. Here we
Manor
go.
Apartments, where police say all of this happened. Janae?
April and Alex, the new property manager, says she is still going through paperwork, finding more fraudulent documents. She says as this process unfolds on the other side of this, dozens of residents who were taken advantage of.
Paper after paper after paper.
Still putting the pieces together. Jira Moran took over as property manager of the Washington Manor Apartments in South Memphis last year. She says while reviewing the financial books, she discovered concerning inconsistencies. Through an investigation, she says they found former property manager Antonio Woodard would accept residents' rent payments and then cash it for himself.
The easiest way for him to do it was for him to make a copy of a resident's money order, and then he would fill out the copy and make another copy and give the resident the copy of it.
Court documents say the apartment lost more than $20,000. Woodard has since been arrested and charged with theft and forgery. He's also the pastor at Live in Purpose Christian Church in Cordova. As this unfolds in the legal system, Moran says she's had to deal with frustration.
Now, did he take his tithes, his percentage of tithes from that money he stole for the church?
What, does the pastor have to pay tithes? I thought it was just the people who went.
Oh, okay.
And like they're supporting the pastor because he's not. I don't know. That's what I thought.
Residents with account balances for rent they paid, many of them doing so on a fixed income.
And for Tony to do this to people that he knows the situation that they were in, and how much money that they do or don't make. It's just extremely disheartening.
She says, sadly, this is a common breach of trust. So to avoid this happening to you,
first and foremost, never give a blank money order to anyone.
First and foremost, write a damn check and stop fucking around with no damn money orders. A check, you can easily trace the check. I mean, they all have apps and all that shit.
Well,
and if you're hold on for a second.
Yeah.
If you're an older person and you're not on the internet like that, you can easily go to your bank or call them and see when was the check cashed and who cashed it or not. This fucking money order shit. So you want to fix income, and you're paying where you live with a money order, which you have to pay for, but you can't write it. You can't get a damn banking account. That doesn't make any sense. And who in the hell would see? This is why I said I can't really even blame him that much, because he who in the hell would like pay my rent? Here's a blank check. Here's a blank money order. You fill it out. That don't make any sense. No wonder why he was stealing. But go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, who's using money orders these days?
Exactly. And then did you see how I had the Western Union in that pile?
Yeah. Like,
so what was you wiring the money?
It must have been some really old people.
Right. So you Western Union, you want to fix income, you Western Union to pay your rent, but you have to pay for that Western Union. That don't make any sense to me.
Yeah, I imagine him like them giving him his blank check. He'd be like, "Oh, I trust him because he's a pastor. He wouldn't do it."
Yep. Oh, they get in there, they start talking about the Lord and all that stuff. Well, look, just take this money order and just write it out to the apartment complex. And he was like, all right, he sure wrote it out to himself. That's why I said I can't really even blame him that much. Who the fuck deals in money orders?
They need to be.
I mean, you got Cash App, you got Cash App, you got PayPal, and you still dealing in money. You pay how much a money order's got to be around about $2 now.
Yeah,
it's probably more than that, and maybe like $3 and change now.
It just keeps on going back to what we're saying. Who gets money orders these days?
Filled out to the payer.
As she continues to sort through financial documents and rebuild that trust, Moran says she hopes Woodard is fully prosecuted.
For him to have done it to these residents, there's a special place in hell for him.
I was able to reach Mr. Woodard by phone today. He told me that he needed to consult with his lawyers before issuing any kind of statement. As for the residents that were impacted by this whole ordeal, the company says that it wrote off all the money owed. Reporting live in South Memphis.
Well, that was good. Shout out to the apartment complex, because they could have been like, well, look, that's on you. A money order. I see check cashing places. I'm like, who in the hell still go to check cashing places?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Well, continuing on to our street entrepreneur series, where we at again? We still in Memphis. We got a Tennessee woman, Shaman Davis, is facing charges after police say she stole $60,000 in night merchandise from DHL warehouse where she worked. Here's the report.
A Memphis woman is facing charges tonight after police say she stole up to $60,000 in merchandise from DHL warehouse where she worked. Investigators with Nike say that they had their suspicions and discovered the theft when they looked into it further. WRC's Jordan James is live with more on what she's accused of doing. Fill us in, Jordan.
Greg, the woman who's accused of committing this crime is named Shaman Davis, and it appears that she used her job to facilitate an illegal operation.
Inside of this Fox Meadows warehouse is where Shaman Davis spent most of her days working. That all changed yesterday when she was arrested.
And it's close around holidays, so people are going to do anything to get some money.
Including stealing from a processing facility. Davis is accused of printing duplicate tracking numbers for items that she didn't purchase and shipping it to different addresses.
That don't make sense to me. Like you can get up and do your own job daily. You just choose to steal somebody else's stuff.
There she go being a damn hater. There she go hating.
They work hard for it too, so just don't see why would you have to steal from other people.
A police affidavit.
You would do it too. You just pissed off that she had the ideal and you didn't.
This was caught by Nike investigators. It's unclear how long the operation had been going on. Nike was able to recover $10,000 worth of merchandise that was set to be delivered yesterday.
I just think that's bad because you can simply have your own products and sell your own instead of using somebody else's stuff.
Well, you have to pay for those products, sweetheart. She didn't.
She's sticking it to the system. She's a revolutionary.
All right.
After being questioned by detectives, Davis confessed to the crime and has since then been charged with theft of property.
Davis was released from jail this morning and is set to appear in court next month. We reached out to Nike and DHL and have not heard back from them. Reporting here live downtown.
First of all, Nike ain't gonna talk about this. $60,000 worth of merchandise ain't shit to Nike when they make millions of dollars in merchandise profit in what I say probably around about 30-40 minutes. It's Nike. They don't give a shit, especially around this time. And also, she wasn't the only one doing that. It's a whole group of people, and you know she's gonna tell on everybody. So
that's what I was gonna say. It's a team operation.
Yeah, she wasn't the only one
by herself.
How can she move that much merchandise like that? It was a whole crew of people that was doing that shit, and she got caught. She was the only one that got caught.
Again, she was sticking it to the system.
That's right. Our street entrepreneurs. That's our street entrepreneur series for the this podcast. Go get your money. Fuck what they always fuck the haters. Get your money and you do your thing. So here's a story out of Detroit, Michigan. We got this young man, Cameron Tucker, was given a 1-day suspension for playing bathroom barber at Renaissance High School in Detroit. Here's the report.
A Detroit teen is suspended from his high school after he's caught giving haircuts in the school bathroom.
Well, that blemish on
Get off the damn internet. That's number one.
it could serve him a distant memory and possibly the door to jumpstart his career. Fox 2's Randy Wimbley joins us now live with more on why this young man might be a cut above the rest. Randy.
Look at them, what they all. Yeah, look at all these little slick talk.
Yes, indeed, guys. And it's said that all is well that ends well. And in this story, it's certainly shaping up to have a good ending. Take a look.
Shaping up.
Cornering your blade is really important.
Even the greatest among us come from humble beginnings, and that could eventually be the case for 16-year-old Cameron Tucker, who was given a 1-day suspension for playing bathroom barber at Renaissance High School in Detroit.
I want to say wrong time.
Wrong time, wrong place.
Cameron caught the barber bug this summer, motivated to cut his younger cousin's hair.
Probably start my guideline about here.
Save some cash by cutting his own and make a little by cutting his friend's hair. He reached out to his Uncle Tuck to school him on the fundamentals of the fade.
That's the exact words. He said, I'm going to show you one time. I go show you again. And I was like, all right.
Cameron picked up on it and did not look back. He started posting before and after pictures.
Oh, shit. It's like the after picture, you seem to me, you still need a damn haircut.
Nah, that's how kids wear their hair though. Nah, for real, like being at the middle school, like especially the last middle school I was at, yeah, a lot of kids wear their hair like that. They got the little fades on the side and then they got like a sideshow bob thing going on up top.
Right, and this kid here looked like he ain't had a damn comb and through that damn head in ages.
On social media of his
like,
cousin.
And first of all, it don't even look like it's clean. It don't even look like he even washed his hair.
Yeah, it's a little bit dry looking. You got like lint and stuff on the left picture, before picture.
Right.
Haircuts, and then started servicing his football teammates. Fast forward to this past Thursday, he was busted cutting a classmate's hair in the bathroom during study hall.
And in the middle of doing that, teacher walked in, stared at us for about 45 seconds and walked out.
Cameron's mom, Cassandra, got a call soon after.
Need someone to come pick up Cameron. He's running a barbershop out of the third floor bathroom. There's a line in there, hair all over the floor, and got his whole setup in there like we don't.
Good job, young man, but the teacher, I think this is a little bit harsh to suspending him like that. I'd have just told him to stop and put that shit away.
That's what I was thinking. It's like they didn't give him a warning or nothing. Like, yo, you can't do this.
Right.
That would have been good enough.
Right. Put it away. Put that away and don't let me see you cutting in hair in here again. That's it. I wasn't suspending him and calling his mom and all that stuff.
Wait, now I was curious about the 45-second thing. That's a long time to be sitting there. Like, was the teacher thinking about getting a shape up?
Yes. Yep. Yep. So you just stood there in the bathroom and looked at them for 45 seconds and walked out. He like, well, damn, can he shape me up real quick?
Yeah, that's what he was thinking.
Like, you know what? No, I can't do this. I got to suspend him.
The movie Barbershop.
Well, we walk into the office and everything, all other administrators talking about, I respect the hustle.
And they are not alone.
You have become so good at your craft in such a short period of time.
We put Cam in contact with Sebastian Jackson, owner of the Social Club Grooming Company. Like Cameron, he too learned to cut hair when he was 15 years old. Now he's one of the city's top barbers with a clientele that includes Jalen Rose, Big Sean, R&B artist Dwele, and former Lions running back.
I was shocked that they mentioned Dwele in this article, in this piece.
I thought it was Dwele, not Dwele.
Oh, well, look, that's what he said.
Yeah, you know how people mispronounce stuff. Like, I got a couple of Dwele albums. I never heard him call himself Dwele.
I'm like, oh, shit, he popular, huh?
Joik Bell and Reggie Bush.
I'll tell you, man, just based on the hustle, if you're interested in apprenticing with one of our cosmetologists or myself, that's definitely an opportunity.
Sebastian offering Cameron a helping hand and a lot of pointers. Cameron, in turn, was a sponge.
It was an honor meeting him. You know, it was definitely a learning experience, you know, learning where he came from and, you know, his way to where he is now.
A place Cameron hopes to be one day. So he'll keep cutting hair, honing his craft, sharpening his blade, just not at school.
A lesson learned, though.
I'm old, but I'm like, God, that shit looks awful.
No, I'm telling you, that's just what kids do. That's the style, man. That's what they do.
All right, guys, young Cameron will be back in class Monday. Sans Clippers, mind you. DPSCD is important to note that they have a program where kids can earn their cosmetology license or their barber license. Either way it goes, Cameron is going to be in good shape working with Sebastian Jackson. And even another barber just reached out to me late tonight and said that he too is willing to work with young Cameron. Hugh, Monica?
Manny, that is a fantastic story. I see that a lot of Cameron's clients are younger people. Does he give senior discounts? You know, I haven't had a good haircut.
Oh, that old man would not allow that young man to cut his hair.
No, he wouldn't.
Right.
Like looking at what the kids were doing.
Right.
How much would
Hey,
he charge?
listen. I'll put you in contact with him. I'm sure he'll take care of you, man.
Fantastic.
Shit. That old man would not allow that young man to cut his hair. Yeah, I only played that because, well, props to the young man for doing something.
Yeah.
For doing something, well, let's just call it legal. For doing something legal and not being out in the street. He sounds like he's well adjusted and everything.
Yeah, he sounds like a good kid.
Right. And number two, that's the first reason why I played it. Number two, I just thought that was harsh to suspend him and call his mom for this shit. Because if it was me, I'd tell him to like clean that hair up and don't cut hair in here again. And that's it. That's all you gotta say. I wouldn't suspend him and call his mom and all that shit. That's ridiculous. But hey, it worked out because he got press and these famous barbers helping him out. If it had went my way, they would have never known anything about him.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, you're right about that.
Yeah. So on the TV and movie front, have you watched anything new?
I saw the Kevin Hart, Wesley Snipes joint.
Okay, now I haven't watched it yet, but Philip said it was good and Kevin Hart was good in it. So what's your review?
Yeah, I agree because I don't like Kevin Hart much.
Neither do us.
I mean, I don't like his. I'll put it like this. I ain't gonna say I don't like him. I don't think he's funny, stand up wise. I don't like his comedies.
Right.
But for this, like, it's a good thriller because every episode ends on a cliffhanger. And you're just waiting to find out what's going to happen next. You know, I don't want to give the story away or none for people who haven't watched it, but that's something I could recommend. That's a good one.
Have you watched Narcos yet?
Nah, I haven't had a chance to get on that yet.
Oh, okay. All right. Any anything else on the TV? I'm sorry.
I'm trying to think. Like I can't think of nothing right now. I've seen something else, but I just can't think of what it is because it's been a while. What about you?
So what's your thoughts on You're Married at First Sight finale?
Oh, what? That was when you're talking about when they decided to get married or not?
And plus the reunions.
See, I didn't see the reunion, but I saw the one where they decided to get married. Black dude, I don't know what black dude was doing. I forget all their names.
Yeah, me too.
He was like, nah, I don't want to get married, but I still want to do this. And I'm like, bro, you haven't been around that many women, have you?
Well, that's funny that you mentioned that because me and Philip had talked about that on one of these football episodes. I forget which one. Because my thing is, what woman that you know is well, okay, they already sleeping together. So he comes up with this ideal that they get a divorce and they still date. Still date to me mean I get to take you out to dinner every now and then, and I still get to have sex with you, but I'm going to sleep with other women. But if you catch feelings and anything like that, I'm gonna say, hey, look, we just dating. We ain't doing nothing. We just dating. That's what that mean to me. Cause how about when she when she did that little crazy reaction in the chair? And people always saying, yeah, she crazy. Look at her. I said, okay, the way she reacted was crazy, but I didn't think she was crazy at all. Because what woman is going to agree with that? Like they already having sex, but he just want to like break up and just date, which means like, oh, okay, I could take you to a fancy restaurant or to the movies or something like that. Then I could still sleep with you, but I could sleep with other women. That don't make any sense to me.
See, I get it, but I don't with him though. Kind of. I mean, like I'm not gonna say I get it. I don't get it, but I think I understand to a degree why he might have done that.
Right.
Which is more like, okay, look, I don't want to be serious, but I still want to figure you out.
Right.
But just like as you said, when you're figuring somebody else out, that leaves a door open for you to get on with somebody else.
Yeah.
And like people ain't gonna wait on the sideline for you.
Yeah. And what about our Bao and Johnny? The only reason why I know them two names because Bao is not a common name, and Johnny always like acting like an idiot.
My wife says that can't be her real name.
Why?
Cause I think bow I looked it up too. I think bow meant something like bread or something, something like that. So it can't be their real name. That's I joke. That's your girl, by the way, because you always talk about her.
Yeah.
But yeah, that wasn't surprising that she didn't want to be with him.
And
he was weird at the end too. He was like upset, and I was like, "Why are you upset?"
Right.
Like you kept saying the whole time you didn't. He said some foul stuff to her, man.
Yep.
I was like, dude, why are you? I guess he couldn't take rejection. I don't know. It was weird to me.
How you like our snow queen? I don't know her name with the firefighter.
Oh, why you call it snow queen?
Because she's cold as ice. You ain't noticed? Like she shows no reaction. Her best part on the show was when she was drunk. That's when she actually showed some emotion. When she was talking to the lady, she showed up drunk.
Yeah, but he stuck it out with her.
Yeah, well, they broke up.
Oh, they did. See,
Yeah,
I didn't know about that, but that's not surprising though. I mean, he seemed like a good dude though. Like he was very patient, man. He's patient to the point where a lot of dudes would have walked out the door after the second date.
Yep, because she's a damn snow queen and didn't want to show any affection, all that stuff. Oh, and the funniest thing is how she talked about his dog and she would never walk that dog and she didn't want a dog. Now she had bought her little dog. Oh, you got to see the Where Are They Now?
Well, I heard that I heard some of them broke up.
Yeah, the only ones that's together is well, the Latino man and woman, I don't know their names. They did that separate for a little while, but on Where Are They Now? They got back together. And Johnny and the Ice Queen, they real good friends. They're not dating anything, but they're like friends and like hang out with each other. And no one else is together. No one, everybody broke up on the show except the Latino couple. I don't know their names again.
The Latino couple. Wait, which one was the Latino couple?
The one with the dude said, "Can I brush your teeth?"
I read something today that said they broke up.
No, but unless that happened after the Where Are They Now? Because
maybe that was it then.
Yeah, because they had got back. They had did that like separate, but like still, talking stuff. But at the end of Where Are They Now? They decided to move back in with each other. The dude that kicked her out the house and wouldn't.
Yeah, he was pretty raw with that. Like, I was like, damn. And then she came right back too.
Yeah. Shows I watch. The Mayor of Kingstown, which is going on now. That's a good show. I like that. With Jeremy Renner, aka Hawkeye. So Jeremy Renner has two shows going on at the same time. And what else is going on? I like that Real World Homecoming. This is the Los Angeles. That was season 2. Yeah, that was season 2.
I still haven't gotten around to seeing that.
Yeah, that was season 2 of Real World. So they're doing a reunion of the LA cast. That's actually a good show. The first one was good. The New York one was good also. The Homecoming I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The New York Homecoming was good. This Los Angeles one is good also. Because David had a car accident. I noticed like something was wrong with it. See, I thought that how like when someone start losing their hair and they start to get these implants and all that stuff, and they have like these little like scars or missing pieces of hair behind their head. And I thought like I'm like looking at him, I'm like his head is kind of lopsided. What happened? And I'm like, and then he got those scars in back of his head. And I'm like, maybe he was trying to like he was losing his hair and start messing with his hair and all that shit and got them scars. Well, he got hit by a car and hit his head and was in the hospital. You know how like your brain swell and they have to remove your skull?
Yeah.
And all that stuff. So that's why his head looks kind of off. So normally he wear hats normally a time, to block that and all that stuff. So they, of course, the first episode, they board up that whole Tammy and pulling the covers off the they talked about that. And I'm actually on both sides because on David's side, I could see the joking and them joking and all that stuff. Because they all like, she's like, oh, stop. and they all just sitting around just laughing and joking and all that stuff. And I tell women all the time, if a man do something that you don't like, you got to be firm to him. You can't do that. Oh no, stop it.
Yeah, yeah.
'Cause that's gonna make me think that, oh, you playing along with me, like that. So that's the way she was doing it. Stop, stop, like that. And so he just keep playing along, and everybody else there, they was all laughing and all that stuff. And on Tammy's side, okay, I can see her feeling violated of him taking the covers off of her like that. So they got all into that. I didn't see the third episode. The third episode was this week. So I guess, well, I seen, on the next, they show that David may have a drinking problem.
Well, yeah, I can see that.
Right. So movies wise, well, I already told you I watched the Squid Game. I like that. That was a good show. I would love to know what they're going to do with the next season of it. I watched Carnage, Venom. What's the name of the movie?
I heard it was trash.
Venom, Let There Be Carnage. The movie was absolutely fucking terrible. Absolutely terrible. It was like it was a buddy film between Eddie Brock and Venom. They like buddy with each other, and he's like talking to himself, and well, he's not talking to himself, but he's talking to Venom, but no one can see, Venom. So he's talking to himself and all that stuff. So he gets mad at Venom. So Venom's separated from him. So Venom is trying to find other bodies. And here's the thing that they never mentioned. Okay, so when Venom didn't find a body that wasn't comparable, the people like throw up and just like lay down. Like, did they die? Because he didn't. Because Venom killed like during like 3 people just by him jumping back and forth to different bodies. Because they never said like, did these people die or not? So anyway, he jumped into the did you see the first one, the Venom?
Yeah.
Okay, you know the girl that he liked, that he was on proposed to. Okay,
right,
he jumped into her. So then she had got them back together again, and he had to say sorry and all that stuff. And then that's when he went to fight Carnage. Well, Carnage came from Venom, because the dude was going to be on death row, and they got in a struggle with each other, and he had bit Eddie Brock. And he was like, "Oh, this didn't taste right," and that's when he got the Venom switched on him. And his girlfriend, Cletus's girlfriend. Cletus is the guy that was Venom. Cletus's girlfriend is Shrek. I don't know her name. Well, her comic book name is Shrek. I don't know if they called her Shrek on the show. Well, Shrek has this, she can manipulate sound and, holler real loud and mess up your ears and all that stuff. So it was like she was hearing going, and during that fight, she got a bell dropped on top of her, and now she's going. And Venom and Carnage had a fight, and Venom won, of course. The only positive thing I can say about the movie, I think it was only like an hour and 37 minutes long. That's the only positive thing I can say about it. It wasn't no 2-hour long movie.
That short being good enough.
Yes, that movie was absolutely terrible. And for a Venom character, they could have done a whole lot better at making a Venom movie. Oh, I did watch that Street of Silent documentary. For everybody that don't know, Street of Silent documentary is, I think it came out. Yeah, it came out this year around in the summertime. It was about it was a documentary about hip hop and skate, and how they like combined the two. But most of the people was in the movie was from the movie Kids.
Okay.
Yeah, it was all those people. It was pretty much a Where Are They Now with the Kids cast, because all those kids there that was doing that stuff was they either became successful businessmen or they were in Kids. Rosario Dawson was in it too, and of course she was on Kids. Well, she didn't skateboard and everything, but she like knew everybody. Yeah. She knew everybody. So it was about hip hop and skating and how they combined the two. And they kept saying that that skateboarding wasn't cool in a black neighborhood. But I don't think maybe in New York, but everybody I know had skateboards and all that stuff. But see, we didn't skate. We rode BMX bikes. I had a skateboard, but I rarely skated. I always like ride my BMX bike. So they try to make it seem like, that wasn't cool in the hood. You was laughed at. But I'm saying to myself, well, that must have been in New York because everybody I know had skateboards.
I don't know. That's a Philly thing. Well, I was in the South, so it was segregated. Skateboarding was white boy shit.
Oh, okay.
Where I grew up.
So I guess they was right. And well, your boys, Stretch and Barbito was on there.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
And of course, they talked about how Supreme started, because Supreme started with those guys that was just riding skateboards. They was talking about the New York club scene. It was good if you wanted like nostalgia hip hop and about how Supreme got started and how all those guys that used to just walk around and ride their skateboards all day long, how they became pretty much movie stars. And how Rosario Dawson, how when a guy saw her sitting on the side on the steps and asked her to be in the movie, and she became a movie star.
Movie star, yeah.
Right. So if you into that nostalgia hip hop and skateboarding and want to know how Supreme started and everything, the documentary was good. I don't know if it's for everybody, but it was really good.
All right.
So any other movies, anything?
Nah, I can't think of anything like I've seen recently.
Okay.
I can't think off the top. I know I've seen something, but I just can't think. Whatever it wasn't that great.
So Jay suggests that we do a top 5 albums of 2021. I think I have 3 so far. 3 that I picked. Oh, these are albums. These ain't all rap albums. You didn't want it to be all rap, any
No.
did you? Oh, okay, because right, because actually two maybe. I may have four albums already. But did you listen to the Big Boy Sleepy Brown?
Nah, I haven't gotten around to that one yet. How's that one?
I didn't listen to it because soon as I opened up Spotify today, I saw that the album came out. My thing is, well, who's their record label? Because I ain't hear anything about this album coming out.
Well, that one got pushed back a long time ago, though. I think that's what happened.
Yeah, because remember we talked about it last year, but the pandemic happened, so I guess they put it on hold, and then it came out. When did it come out? Like,
was it like a week ago or something?
Oh, okay. So I just seen it when I opened Spotify.
It came out real recently. Yeah, I just haven't had the time to really like check it out or not.
Okay. Yeah, it should be good. That could be on my list too if I whenever I get around and listen to it.
Yeah, I wish I would have had that idea last year, because this year is much more difficult compared to like last year. I could have easily made a top 5 last year. And I guess because everybody was at home and so.
Right. So we gonna pick all right. If it's, how about if we have the same album on our list?
I doubt we're gonna have the same albums though. But if
why? Because you're gonna pick the earthy shit.
Probably. I mean, a lot of honestly, like, it hasn't been too many rap records this year that really caught my attention. It's been pretty mediocre this year to me.
Right. So everything to you is what? Is it R&B or?
I got R&B and jazz records and a little bit of hip hop, little bit, but mainly R&B, soul, and jazz, something like that.
Okay. All right. So go ahead.
I was gonna say I was surprised you weren't gonna talk about the verses a little bit.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. What's your review on the verses? I actually had that written down too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I forgot about it. But till I glanced in. I didn't have my note scrolled all the way down. I only stopped at the movie stuff.
All right, to be honest, it wasn't a good idea unless Lord Infamous was still alive.
Why is that?
Because Lord Infamous, they had their little issues with each other, but it was like Lord Infamous was doing that particular style of rap, more than anybody else, I think.
Yes,
the
he was.
triplet thing.
Yeah.
So it's like, he ain't there. So, I mean, what exactly, I get why, but without him, it leaves a big hole in the purpose of the battle, though.
Right. And it's two different styles of music also, because well, they were similar, pretty much what you just said. They were similar back then, but then now I guess I would say like what, in like the late 90s.
Yeah, it started switching up.
Yeah, 3-6 got on that well, would you call it crunk music?
Kind of.
Crunk music.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, see, I'll call it good workout music. But they started doing that crunk hyper Tater Club up music.
Yeah,
pretty much.
And Bone Thugs was just too laid back.
Yeah, and now they'll do their 3-6 will do their Tater Club up music, and Bone Thugs are doing their boom 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 boom.
Yeah,
boom,
when they did what was the name of the joint? Buddha Lovers.
Yeah,
I was like, why?
It's funny because I like that when they did that on that. That was East 99 Eternal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that song, but it don't match up in the verses.
No, you can't do that at verses.
Right.
It was a couple other songs that they should have picked instead of what they picked. Like Bone had a very bad music selection.
Yeah.
But I will say this about them though, like Lazy Bone showed how underrated he is.
True.
As far as leading the whole thing.
Right. It's funny because when this was going on, I had text Philip. I'm like, damn, this Bone Thugs, they really sound good.
Yeah, and the Busy Bone, when he did the Thug Love, I was waiting to see if he was gonna do that live or not.
Right.
And I'm like, dang, this dude ain't human. Like how he
exactly
that verse always bugged me out. It's like how he went off on that, and then he did that live. I was like, damn.
Yep. And I was saying like, damn, they really sound really good. And he was, and Busy was like the star to me when he did that, what you was talking about.
Yeah.
Now, how do you feel about this quote unquote fight that they had?
It was funny. It was good. It was good.
The thing is, they try to make it seem like Busy Bone was crazy. But my thing is, you don't tell no man the SMD.
That's
you
what
don't
I was.
SMD no man.
That's what I was going at. Like, okay, it's a battle, so it's going to get a little bit heated. Right. So all he said was, "Y'all ugly motherfuckers." That's it, right? That's it. Mm-hmm. And who was Juicy J? I think was what sucked my dick. That's it. Yeah. That's the end of it. They no discussion no more after that.
Exactly. And see, I had told Philip, see, Juicy around these young boys. See, now he doing young boy music and stuff. Juicy around these young boys, and these young boys tell each other the SMD all day long. And then you don't tell nobody. And Busy Bone is an older guy, so you don't tell him the SMD. You don't invite any other man to your thing like that.
Well, also too, considering his past.
Exactly. Yep. I was going to mention that too.
Yeah, he's been through some things. Like you can't. It's like he's the wired one for a reason, man. He's been through some things.
And they like, yeah, he crazy. He ain't take. Yeah, do you know the shit he been through?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's pretty much documented. I mean, you can go on YouTube and listen to the story. I mean, he was on. He talked about it on America's Most Wanted. When America's Most Wanted was out, I'm pretty sure it's on YouTube, so you can find it. Well, I mean, we don't have to repeat it here, but yeah, that guy, you don't talk like that to that guy. You don't know the shit he's probably dealing with. I'm assuming he's probably still in therapy now.
Yeah. Because during his childhood, I mean, shoot, that's gonna go. That's never gonna disappear.
Exactly. And of course, I got happy when my boy Lil Flip came out.
Well, and Project Pat, he got. I ain't recognize him at first.
Yeah, because he lost a lot of weight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he lost a lot of weight, and of course, 8 Ball MJG. I got happy at that too. Yeah. 8-Ball MJG is very slept on. Very slept on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, nobody. Yeah. That's a good point. Nobody really mentions them at all. Really.
No,
Yeah.
that's because we talked about that 1,000 times on our musical podcast. See, back then, music was very regional. The only reason why I know about West Coast but the only reason why I know about 8-Ball and MJG, to be telling you the truth, is from Rap City. Nobody walked around with no 8-Ball and MJG around here. And I told the story about how I got clowned when I had showed the guys at school my 8-Ball and MJG tape. They was like, "What, you like that shit?" I'm like, "Yeah, you don't listen to them rapping?" Yeah, so music was very regional. It's funny because someone kind of talked about this on Twitter the other day, and they blame social media is the reason why people pretty much act the same now.
What do you mean by act the same?
Act the same, like have the same slang and all that stuff. Because remember how you used to go one place, it might be the same saying, but different meaning.
Man, I don't know, but slang evolved into talking like a teenage black girl. Like for real, that's what I was telling my mom. I'm like, when SNL did that Generation Z skit,
yeah,
I was like, yeah, you sound like a teenage black girl. Back then, yeah, with it being regional,
right?
I would say it's not just social media. I think it was music too, like music, MTV. Like,
no, see, I don't blame MTV. I blame
no, I mean just like people. What I was gonna say is, I mean just like people catching on to slang before it became what it is now.
Right. See, I blame there's no more regional radio anymore. It's only Clear Channel and iHeart. That's the only ones that own radio stations now. So what they doing? They're gonna play the same playlist that they play in St. Louis, is the same one they're gonna play in Philly or Miami or something like that. So we're hearing the same music. So we're gonna have the same slang and talk the same.
Well, I mean, the thing too is that, like, as far as rap is, because rap has the slang and stuff in it. I mean, in the early 2000s, you had dudes from New York trying to sound like they were from the South anyway.
Right.
So, that was common.
And that was because when the Clear Channel and iHeart started buying radio stations, and we heard all this South music. We didn't hear that shit back then. Like an 8-Ball MJG, no. And I told you about Ron. Ron is the one that told me about Scarface / Ghetto Boys. Ron was between Ron telling me and MTV playing tricks on me all the time. That's the only reason why I knew about the Ghetto Boys.
Mm-hmm.
Right, I didn't know anything about that because they didn't play that shit up here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true.
Right. Well, thank you everyone for listening to our old men talk about music and shit. So we'll have our top 5 list. Our top 5 list of 2021. I'm sorry, I said 2002. Damn it, I had like Ludacris on or something like that.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see what you got, because I'm pretty sure like a lot of the stuff that I listen to is like kind of out there a little bit. So
yeah, okay. Well, all right. You can reach us on Facebook and Twitter at PNL Judgmentals, TikTok at PNL Judgmentals, Instagram _Judgmentals, or you can email us at pnljudgmentals@gmail.com. All right, thank you. If I don't talk, well, I'll talk to you before Christmas, so we'll have our Christmas talk during then.
All right.
All right, y'all. Thanks for listening to us.
All right.
And fuck poverty. This money, man. Fuck you gotta do, you know what I'm saying? I can tell you're mad at me just by how your face look. You can check the status on my level, not my Facebook. Comments on my photos, that's why I stay on the low. Most of y'all is associates, so I be on my dolo. Hold up, whoa, hold the phone. You think all I do is rap? I can do it on my own. That's why